And then I have another problem, and I want you guys to call me and leave me a voicemail. 856-49-HAPPY. It's 856-494-6773. I'm really bougie about my sleep and about the air conditioning. Growing up in Illinois, we never had air conditioning. We didn't have heat, so we would have fans, or I would sit in the car. Or if it was cold out, we would have blankets. We were very middle class growing up. Oh, were we? So, moving to Florida, after living in Cleveland for 2 minutes, moving to Florida, the heat was something I had never experienced. So I became an air conditioning slut. While other people are like, oh, it's 50 out, I'm turning on the heat. I'm like, yeah, it's a little cold in here. I'll just put on my blanket. I'm built a little differently. I had to wait at the bus stop because my dad was teaching me discipline. And honestly, I'm kind of glad he made me do it because it taught me, that it's okay to be cold and that it's not always cold in Florida. When it gets down to the early 40s and the wind's coming in, then yeah. But my air conditioning, I was sleeping in on Thursday. I always sleep in, unless I'm working with MJ. I was sleeping in on I almost said Halloween. On Thanksgiving, woke up around 9:15, my cat's in my face, and I'm like, something feels off. Like I was just a little sweaty, not like overly sweaty, but sweaty enough. And I'm like, I got to go pee. Let me go pee real quick. And I look at the temperature of my apartment, and it's supposed to be 66, and it was like 72. And I was like, oh, that's it. I'm hypersensitive. Like, I can tell if you turn up the temperature 1 or 2 degrees in a place. I could tell. If you go to like Target and Pinellas Park, they turn up the heat. So, now this is where I want to be nice. My predecessors that I've worked with in radio would just talk crap about people that were close to them. And then they would burn bridges. Guys like Bubba, Calta's kind of done it, Rover's done it. I'm not going to do it. But I emailed the front desk of my apartment on Thanksgiving, and I put in a work order because I always do that. Even if I put in a work order, I always send an email just because Carmen from the Mike Calta show taught me you always want to have a receipt. She said when I worked at Hooters, the one thing I learned from Carmen, she said when I worked at Hooters, I always kept the receipts in case a customer complained. And she goes, you need to have everything in writing. So I wrote to the front desk in my apartment. And they got back to me and they were like, and it was a new person that works there. They're like, we saw that we got your work order in and we'll get it done as soon as possible. So I come home last night and it's not hot in there because it's cold outside, but it's stuffy. When you first come in, you're like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. But as you're walking around, doing some laundry, doing whatever, you start to notice there's no air. Some apartments will keep the air conditioning going, Like even if the air goes out, it stays in the place. My place, when there's no air, it gets warm very quickly. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is where I want to have you leave me a voicemail. 856-49-HAPPY. Because like when things piss me off, like that prep service, Wise Brother Media, because I was using a login because they thought I worked at the Bone. They banned me from their service. I don't have the production anymore. So I did a rant about that. I did a rant about that hack comedian, Demetrius, who wanted to come on my show until he realized it's not live over the air. It airs on demand after. So whenever something pisses me off in life, I always bring it to this show. But anything that's going on with my apartment complex, if it's, let's say, the pool is closed or there's something wrong, I never talk about it on this show because my apartment complex has been very good to me. I think I want to live. I think you're going to drag my dead body out of my apartment. I think I will die in my apartment. I have no plans to go anywhere else. There's an app that they can fix things when they want to. There's a gym. There's a pool. Yeah, it's a little overpriced for the studio apartment, but we're in the inflation era. But the front desk goes, oh, yeah, and I'm not mad. I get that you're going by rules. I was mad earlier. I'm okay now. I vented to a friend, but I'm telling you, they said, because it's not 80 degrees outside, it's not considered an emergency. And that everybody that works there is on holiday. Which for me, I can't relate to Thanksgiving being a holiday, because it's when I found my dad dead, and also I'm not a big fan of turkey. So to me, like, I see all the news sites are barely reporting news. I don't like taking Thanksgiving off. You eat your meal and you go back to work. But I get that I'm the only person that does that. I love working. When I sit still, I have a hard time doing that. I feel like the world is getting ahead of me. It's my competitive spirit of working in radio. Oh, is it ever? So I was a little mad at the front desk earlier. Not mad. I just was like, so I wanted to reply with something like, well, you stay in my apartment and see how it feels. But then I realized that would not have been a good thing to say. Yeah, I do this thing. I always reread my email 4 times and I go, is this worth sending? But if anybody from the apartment complex, I love you guys so much. After my breakup, you were so gracious in helping me move into my best apartment ever, which is this studio. It's been a dream come true. When we've had roach problems, you guys have been on top of it. Please help me with my air conditioning. I beg you.
Happy hour. Happy hour.
It's time for Hoppe in the morning.
RyanHoppeRadio.com.
Happy hour will be right back.
Whenever we're going outside, all I smell is poop.
In the nuts, and we'll call it a day.